Okay, this is going to be a very abbreviated short version of the Pythagorean Theorem because you guys are all very smart and I know you guys can figure this out after just a few examples. If after I do these few examples you don't understand it, I also linked on Canvas today the longer versions of these videos in case you're still confused by this. Okay, the Pythagorean Theorem is very heavily tested and worked out in geometry, so you're going to need to know it for next year, but it also has to do with solving equations, which you're doing in algebra. So the Pythagorean Theorem only works in a right triangle. It does not work in an acute triangle or an obtuse triangle. So it only works in a right triangle. So when you see a right triangle with the little box marking it a 90-degree right triangle, you need to think in your head, this is going to have something to do with the Pythagorean Theorem. So in the Pythagorean Theorem, you have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It should be a very recognizable formula. You just need to know which number to put in for A, which number to put in for B, and which number to put in for C. So here you go. The two legs are the sides of the triangle that make up this right angle. So it depends on which direction it's facing. Maybe the right angle is up here, and that would mean your legs would be this one and this one. So wherever the right angle is, the two sides that make up that right angle are the two legs. The long side that is across from the right angle is called the hypotenuse. So the longest side of the triangle is always the hypotenuse, and it's always the side across from the right angle. So the two legs are the A and the B, and it doesn't matter if this is A and this is B, or if this is B and this is A. It does not matter, because if you're adding 1 plus 2 is the same thing as 2 plus 1. So it doesn't matter which leg you pick for A and which leg you pick for B. However, it very much matters that you make sure you make letter C the long side, the hypotenuse side. So this would be my C, and then these are the A and the B. My dog is drinking water. I'm not sure if you can hear him. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's just jump right into it because I said this would be quick. Let's make it quick. These are the two legs because they make up the right triangle. So you're going to make 7 one of your A or B, and you're going to make 5 the other one of your A or B because those are the A and the B. And you want to try to find out what this side is, which is the hypotenuse side, which is C. So 7 squared, you should be able to know that in your head. It's 49. Oh dear. Sorry about this, guys. Rocky, that's enough. Oh, I can't wait to see her. I wish I could see your all's faces watching this video. 5 squared is 25. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. So embarrassing. 49 plus 25, I don't know, because now I'm thrown off because of my dog. 49 plus 25 is 74. 74. Okay, here's where I want you guys to pause for a second. Does it make sense? Is it appropriate for this leg to be 5? Oh, and I can't see it very well. Let me try to zoom in better. You have to use your head. Is it appropriate for this side to be 5, this side to be 7, and this long side to be 74? I hope you're like, no, absolutely not. So you need to remember that's what C squared equals. And we want to know what just C is by itself, not C squared. So if you're thinking divide by 2, you're close. The opposite of squaring is not dividing by 2, it's square rooting. So you need to square root both sides to get it to cancel. And then once you do, it's going to not come out to be exactly even. It's going to be wonky, but that's okay. Square root of 74 is about 8.6. We'll call it 8.6. So about 8.6. Now that is a much more appropriate length for a side length of a triangle to be 5, 7, and 8.6. Much better. Okay, let's just do maybe one more of these, and then I'll feel like you guys will get it unless you need to go watch another video to make sure. Let's go over to number 2. The two legs are the 10 and 13. You can make one A and one B. So 10 squared plus 13 squared, or if you put 13 squared plus 10 squared, totally fine. 10 squared you should know is 100. 13 squared you may not know. I think it's 169. Use your calculator if you're not sure. When you add those two together, you get 269, and that is definitely way too long for this side to be. So I hope that reminds you that we're not done yet. We have to square root it to get a final answer. And the square root, I did that one really fast, so replay it slower if you can't keep up. 16.4. Much better. C is about 16.4. Much more appropriate of a length for this missing hypotenuse. Okay, I would like for you to do a few more if you want. And if not, turn to the next page where this time you are now missing one of the legs. So on the first page, you were missing the hypotenuse, you were missing the long side, so we knew our A and B. This time, you're missing one of the legs. Remember I said the legs are the two things that make up the right triangle? So you have the hypotenuse this time, and you have one of the legs. You're missing the short leg. So let's just use our heads. If on this we added to find the missing side length, I hope you know that if you're given the long one, you're going to work backwards and subtract. So we're going to take the long side. Be sure you pick the 10 because you can't subtract 10 from 9 or it'll be negative. So 10 is the number squared that you're going to have to subtract the 9 squared from to equal your missing leg side. It doesn't matter if you call this A or B. One of the legs is missing. Doesn't matter which one. So 10 squared is 100. 9 squared is 81. 100 minus 81 is 19. I feel like I gotta use the calculator. Yeah, 19, I think. Now I feel like I need to use a calculator. Okay, 19. Just checking. That is equal to what B squared is, so do not put 19. I hope it does not make sense for the shortest side to be 19. So you need to square root it. Last step, the square root of 19 is about 4.4. Let's round that to 4.4. So that is an appropriate length, 4.4. And again, this could have been A. It doesn't matter. You're just naming them just to make sure that you know these two are the legs. This is the long side, which is why now we're subtracting because we're trying to find one of the missing legs. All right, let's do one more. Just make sure you get it, and then I'll let you guys get started on your work today. So again, you have the hypotenuse here on number 2. You have the long side. So we're going to take it and we're going to subtract the leg that we know. So we're going to subtract the 5 squared, and that will give us the missing leg side. I'll call this one A. Doesn't matter. 11 squared is 121. 5 squared is 25. 121 minus 25, I don't know. 96. Didn't we just do a 96 a second ago? I feel like we just did a square root of 96, but maybe not. Okay, so remember that's what A squared is, so we need to square root it to get the actual side length of A. And that is about 9.8. No, maybe we didn't do this one. 9.8. Okay, I am going to let you start your homework. If this is still confusing to you, go click on the longer videos. And in those, you also won't hear Rocky barking. So sorry about that.